Did you know that a single bad model year can cost you thousands in repairs you never saw coming? Most people shop by looks or price, and that is a recipe for disaster. Today, we are breaking down the 3 worst and 4 best years of the Mazda 6, so you can buy smart and protect your wallet. We will also expose the year that mechanics quietly dread. Stay until the end because the best years will genuinely surprise you. Let us start with the worst. Number 3. Worst. 2014. Mazda 6. Kicking off our worst list at number 3 is the 2014 Mazda 6, and honestly, it had no business being this problematic given what Mazda promised buyers going in. Here's the thing about the 2014 model. It launched the 3rd generation of the Mazda 6, which should have been a genuine moment of celebration for the brand. New platform, sharp styling, Skyactiv technology, and big promises of great fuel economy. Sounds pretty good on paper, right? Well, the reality told a very different story once owners started putting real miles on these cars, and the problems began surfacing one by one. The biggest nightmare with this year was the transmission. Specifically, owners of the 6-speed automatic were reporting harsh shifting, frustrating hesitation pulling out from stops, and an unsettling shudder that showed up mostly in low-speed situations like parking lots and slow-moving traffic. Mazda issued a technical service bulletin addressing the problem, but fixes were hit or miss in practice. Some owners had the transmission replaced entirely before the car hit 50,000 miles. We are talking a bill anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000 depending on location and labor rates. Then there was the infotainment system, which felt like a complete afterthought in a car otherwise trying hard to feel premium. The interface was sluggish, navigation was notoriously unreliable, and Bluetooth connectivity dropped more often than anyone would expect from a brand new car in this price range. One owner from Phoenix told us he had to restart his radio system 3 separate times during a single 2-hour road trip. Not a luxury experience, just genuinely frustrating every single time. The paint quality on some 2014 models was also noticeably softer than ideal, making it prone to chips and scratches from everyday road debris. If you bought this car and parked outside regularly, you probably know exactly what we are talking about and have the hood to prove it. Repair costs on the 2014 can sneak up on you. Transmission fluid flushes, updated software calibrations, and in worse cases, full rebuilds made this one of the more expensive years to maintain early in ownership. A shop in Denver reported seeing multiple 2014 Mazda 6 transmissions come through their doors within the first 3 years of the car being on the road. Not a great statistic for a model positioning itself as reliable daily transportation. To be fair, the 2014 was not a total disaster. The handling was excellent. The interior design genuinely felt premium for the class, and fuel economy was reasonable. But when your transmission misbehaves on a car barely 12 months old, all those positives start feeling irrelevant very quickly. The issues from 2014 directly set the stage for what Mazda would change in later years, but not before releasing another model that made things worse in a different, but equally expensive way. Keep watching because that model is up next, and it is arguably the single most frustrating Mazda 6 ever sent to a dealership. Number 2. Worst. 2016. Mazda 6. Welcome to number 2 on our worst list, the 2016 Mazda 6. And this one genuinely stings because the car had so much real potential and still managed to let owners down in a big and expensive way. By 2016, Mazda had refined the 3rd generation platform a bit further. The exterior design was still turning heads wherever it went. The Skyactiv G 2.5-liter engine was smooth and reasonably quick, and consumer expectations were legitimately high after Mazda built a strong reputation for fun-to-drive sedans that punched above their price class. But underneath all that genuine promise, the 2016 Mazda 6 was quietly hiding some deeply frustrating problems. The biggest complaint from owners? An infuriating oil consumption issue. Owners of the 2.5-liter engine began reporting that their cars were burning through oil at an alarming rate between regularly scheduled changes. We are talking about cars dropping a full quart or more every 1,000 to 1,500 miles. That is not normal engine consumption. That is a genuine mechanical problem that deserves a serious and honest response from the manufacturer. One mechanic from Atlanta shared the story of a young teacher who brought in her 2016 Mazda 6 with only 42,000 miles on the odometer. The engine warning light had triggered, and when the mechanic checked the oil level, it was bone dry. She had received almost no warning from the car before the damage was done. The repair cost her over $3,200, and she was well outside her warranty window at that point. Mazda acknowledged the oil consumption issue in some communications, but was inconsistent in how individual claims were handled in practice. Some owners received full engine replacements covered under warranty. Others were told the consumption levels fell within acceptable limits, a response that makes most independent mechanics roll their eyes when they hear it repeated by yet another affected owner walking through the door. Beyond oil consumption, the 2016 also had a recurring problem with the Mazda Connect infotainment system freezing and rebooting without any warning. Imagine cruising at 70 miles per hour and your navigation just goes dark mid-route. Inconvenient at best, dangerous at worst depending on the traffic situation around you. The advanced Smart City Brake Support System, one of the headline selling points for 2016, also showed documented reliability concerns. False activation events were reported where the car applied emergency braking with no actual obstacle present in the path of the vehicle. That is not just annoying. That is a genuine safety issue that can cause accidents in the wrong traffic situation. If you are seriously considering a used 2016 Mazda 6, insist on a full oil consumption test before committing to any purchase. Ask for complete maintenance records and check specifically for any engine-related service visits or oil top-offs between standard changes. A thorough pre-purchase inspection here is not optional. It could realistically save you several $1,000s in your first year of owning this car. Hey, quick reminder here. If you are picking up useful knowledge for your next car purchase, go ahead and subscribe now. We break down exactly this kind of hidden vehicle history every single week, and you genuinely do not want to miss what is coming on this channel. The 2016 earned its number 2 spot because of how widespread and costly the oil consumption issue proved across such a large portion of the overall ownership base. But number 1 on our worst list? That model claims the title for reasons that hit safety, reliability, and resale value all at the same time. Stay right there. Number 1, worst 2009 Mazda 6. Here it is, the undisputed worst Mazda 6 ever made. The 2009 model year, context matters here. 2009 was the final year of the second generation Mazda 6, a generation that was actually solid and well regarded for most of its production run. But the 2009 earned a dark reputation that followed it through the used car market for years afterward, and a large part of that came down to one deeply serious issue that made national automotive news and stayed in headlines for a long time. Takata airbags. The 2009 Mazda 6 was caught in the massive Takata airbag recall, one of the largest automotive safety recalls in United States history. The inflators could rupture with excessive force, sending jagged metal fragments into the cabin at dangerous velocity. This was never a theoretical risk. People suffered serious injuries, and lives were lost in affected vehicles across multiple manufacturers over several years of reporting. To be completely fair, Mazda was not alone here. Numerous global manufacturers were swept into the same crisis. But the 2009 Mazda 6 had a high concentration of affected units and was flagged relatively early in the investigation. If you are browsing the used market for one today, you must verify the recall completion status before buying. Head to the NHTSA website and run the full VIN. This step is completely non-negotiable. Beyond the airbag catastrophe, the 2009 Mazda 6 also carries the distinction of one of the strangest official automotive recalls ever issued, one involving spiders. Yes, actual living spiders. The yellow sac spider was reportedly attracted to the particular smell of the fuel system venting tube used in this generation of the car. These spiders would build webs inside the canister purge valve line, causing dangerous blockages that led to fuel tank pressure buildup and, in serious cases, actual fuel tank cracking. Mazda issued multiple recalls requiring dealers to install physical spider-deterring screens directly inside customer fuel lines. That sentence should simply not exist anywhere in automotive history. And yet here we are, discussing it as a documented official recall action that affected thousands of vehicles. The combination of the life-threatening airbag recall, the bizarre spider-related fuel system dangers, and the age-related maintenance costs that come with any older vehicle locked the 2009 Mazda 6 firmly at the top of this worst list with no real competition for the position. Resale value on the 2009 took a significant and sustained hit from all this negative attention. If you see one priced suspiciously low at any used lot today, you now know the full story behind that asking price and why the seller is motivated to move it quickly. But here's the pivot the list has been building toward. Because despite all of this documented misery, the Mazda 6 also produced genuinely outstanding model years that mechanics enjoy working on and owners hold on to for 200,000 miles. We are moving into the best years now, and number 4 might just change how you see this car completely. For every bad year on that list, Mazda came back with something meaningfully better. The engineering team clearly absorbed those hard lessons, and several model years stand out as exceptional used car buys that are worth serious attention. Let us count down the 4 best years, starting at number 4. Number 4 best, 2015. Mazda 6. Coming in at number 4 on our best list is the 2015 Mazda 6. and it earns its spot here for one straightforward and satisfying reason. Mazda actually listened to what owners were telling them and made real changes as a result. After the transmission headaches of 2014, Mazda rolled out significant software updates and targeted mechanical refinements for 2015. The 6-speed automatic received updated calibration that directly addressed the harsh shifting and low-speed shuddering that frustrated so many prior year owners. The transmission hardware was not completely overhauled, but the difference in real-world driving behavior was dramatically and noticeably better for most people who drove both years back-to-back in normal conditions on real roads. The Skyactiv G 2.5-liter 4-cylinder in the 2015 was a genuinely pleasant engine to live with daily. It produced 184 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque, numbers that translate in practice to a car that feels consistently willing and responsive in real driving rather than just impressive on a brochure. Highway fuel economy was officially rated at 38 miles per gallon, seriously competitive for a midsize sedan at that time in the market. One genuinely clever feature on higher trim levels for 2015 was the IE-Loop regenerative braking system. It captured kinetic energy during deceleration and used it to power electrical accessories, reducing alternator load and squeezing additional real-world efficiency from the engine without the cost or complexity of traditional hybrid technology. Smart, practical engineering thinking applied to an everyday problem. Interior quality on the 2015 was genuinely impressive for the price bracket. Soft-touch materials appeared throughout the cabin in places where most competitors in the segment used hard and uninspiring plastics. The instrument cluster was clean and readable at a quick glance. Front seats delivered real lateral support and lumbar comfort on longer drives, which is something the segment too often completely ignores. One long-term owner from Seattle mentioned that after 3 years and 65,000 miles of daily highway commuting, he has never once resented getting into this car in the morning. That kind of sustained satisfaction over real mileage is meaningful and worth paying attention to. If you can find a well-maintained 2015 Mazda 6 with documented service history under 100,000 miles, you are looking at a capable, fuel-efficient, and handsome sedan that will not drain your emergency fund in surprise repairs. That combination is genuinely harder to find in the used market than it ought to be. But as strong as 2015 was, number 3 on our best list improved on it in ways that made measurable real-world differences to the ownership experience, including adding a performance option that completely changed the Mazda 6 conversation. Number 3, best, 2018. Mazda 6. Number 3 on our best list is the 2018 Mazda 6, and this is the year Mazda stopped playing it safe and genuinely pushed the model into premium territory in a way that impressed everyone who drove it. 2018 brought a significant interior overhaul that moved the Mazda 6 closer to luxury sedan territory than anything the model had previously achieved in its production history. Premium stitching on surfaces that previously had none, genuine wood trim on higher trim levels, a redesigned center console with a more purposeful and upscale layout. The overall fit and finish surprised automotive journalists in back-to-back comparisons against cars costing several $1,000s more than the Mazda sticker. The turbocharged 2.5-liter engine was the most exciting development for 2018, arriving on the signature trim with 250 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Serious numbers for a family sedan at any price. 0 to 60 times came in around 6.1 seconds for properly equipped examples. Suddenly, the Mazda 6 was not just a sensible daily driver. It was a genuinely fast one that could embarrass a lot of more expensive cars on an on-ramp. Reliability for the 2018 has been strong overall. The turbo engine, while mechanically more involved than the naturally aspirated base version, has demonstrated real durability when owners follow Mazda's maintenance specifications carefully. The oil specification is critical. Mazda specifies 0W20 for most markets, and using a heavier substitute in a turbocharged engine is a common mistake that mechanics say they have seen cost owners upward of $4,000 in premature wear and engine repairs. Do not cut corners with this one. Safety technology availability improved meaningfully for 2018 across the full trim range. Mazda radar cruise control, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and lane keep assist became realistically accessible rather than being locked behind the most expensive configurations. IIHS testing scores were strong, which matters when families are making purchase decisions. Owner satisfaction surveys for the 2018 Mazda 6 consistently rank in the top tier of the mid-size sedan segment. Among owners who have passed 80,000 miles, over 70% reported they would buy the same car again. That repurchase loyalty figure is one of the clearest real-world signals of genuine long-term satisfaction you can find in automotive consumer research. Subscribe now if you want more deep dives like this one. We have an upcoming video covering the most underrated Japanese sedans of the past decade, and the Mazda 6 makes a strong and well-deserved appearance. Do not miss it, but hold that thought, because number 2 on our best list is widely considered by Mazda enthusiasts and mechanics alike to be the most refined version of the car produced to that point, and possibly the best value available in a used midsize sedan under $15,000 today. Big claim. Keep watching. Number 2, Best 2019 Mazda 6. Number 2 is the 2019 Mazda 6, the model year that quietly became the go-to recommendation when a genuine Mazda enthusiast is asked which year to actually buy and why. 2019 was a year of focused and intentional refinement. Mazda took the strong platform established by 2018, identified the remaining friction points in the ownership experience, and systematically addressed them without introducing new problems in the process. The result is what most observers now consider the most polished and cohesive version of the third-generation Mazda 6 produced to that point in time. The infotainment experience received meaningful and welcome improvements for 2019. The Mazda Connect interface became noticeably more responsive in daily use, making the car feel genuinely more current and less frustrating as a piece of technology. Apple CarPlay was finally made available, a feature that a large portion of buyers had been waiting for, and it elevated the daily connected experience for those who rely on their smartphone for navigation and audio streaming. Small change on paper, real and tangible quality of life improvement every single morning in the car. Suspension tuning on the 2019 was calibrated with clear and obvious intent. Ride quality was comfortable and composed over the broken urban surfaces that daily drivers encounter without sacrificing the responsive and communicative handling character that has always been the Mazda 6's best argument against the Japanese competition. Drivers who go back-to-back between a 2019 Mazda 6 and a Toyota Camry or Honda Accord from the same year almost universally describe the Mazda as more alive, more engaging, and simply more rewarding to operate. When you spend an hour or more behind the wheel every day, that difference adds up to something real over time. The Turbo 2.5 engine in its second production year for 2019 had benefited from real ownership feedback and targeted software refinements since its debut. Owners with 60,000 or more miles on their 2019 turbo cars describe minimal significant mechanical concerns, provided maintenance has been kept properly current with the correct fluids and service intervals without shortcuts. Fuel economy on the naturally aspirated 2.5 remained a genuine strength at 29, city and 35 highway for the automatic transmission, excellent for a car delivering this level of driver engagement simultaneously. One mechanic running a busy independent shop in Austin mentioned unprompted that when a 2019 Mazda 6 rolls in for service, he looks forward to it. The car is thoughtfully engineered, clean and logical to work on, and almost never arrives with costly surprises hiding underneath the hood or in the suspension. That kind of spontaneous professional endorsement carries real weight for anyone trying to make a smart buying decision. Find a well-documented 2019 Mazda 6 with clean history and reasonable mileage, and you can buy it with real confidence. But our number 1 best year adds one final dimension that separates it even from this already impressive result. Number 1 best, 2020. Mazda 6. Number 1 on our best years list is the 2020 Mazda 6, earning the top spot for reasons that go well beyond just solid reliability data alone. 2020 was a pivotal and special year for the Mazda 6. Mazda introduced cylinder deactivation technology in the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine, allowing it to run on just 2 cylinders during steady highway cruising where full power is simply not needed. The result was meaningfully improved real-world fuel economy delivered without any perceivable change in driving refinement or character at the wheel. Owners consistently report real-world highway figures well above 35 miles per gallon, with some disciplined long-haul drivers approaching 40 on flat interstate sections. Impressive numbers for a fully equipped midsize sedan over 3,000 pounds. The 2020 also received a more capable version of Mazda Radar Cruise Control, now incorporating a full stop-and-go function that allows the car to come to a complete standstill in heavy traffic and then automatically resume following the car ahead without any input from the driver. If your daily routine involves congested highway sections during peak commuting hours, you already understand intuitively why this particular feature transforms the ownership experience from genuinely stressful to something far closer to effortless. Interior quality in 2020 reached its absolute peak for this entire generation of the Mazda 6. The signature trim featured full Nappa leather seating surfaces, genuine washi Japanese paper wood trim panels, a 12-speaker Bose premium audio system, and a 10-inch color heads-up display projected onto the windshield keeping navigation and speed data in the driver's natural line of sight. Multiple automotive journalists reviewing the signature during the 2020 model year noted specifically how the car defied its price point and competed convincingly with luxury sedans costing significantly more money in the showroom next door. Reliability data for the 2020 Mazda 6 consistently ranks among the very best in the entire production history of the model. The underlying platform was thoroughly mature and well past any development concerns by this stage. Owner-reported problems are genuinely minor, occasional software quirks resolved quickly by a standard dealership update, or isolated reports of minor wind noise on a small number of units. Neither category is the kind of problem that costs real money or leaves you stranded somewhere inconvenient. The 2020 also holds the bittersweet distinction of being among the final North American model years before Mazda eventually discontinued the nameplate in this market after 2021. What that means practically is that every lesson absorbed through years of owner feedback, every engineering refinement developed through successive generations, and every piece of accumulated development knowledge went into what now stands as one of the most genuinely underappreciated sedans in the modern used car landscape. A college professor from Nashville reached out to share that she purchased a 2020 Mazda 6 Signature with 18,000 original miles as a certified pre-owned vehicle. She is now at 92,000 miles. Over 3 years of daily ownership, her complete repair record consists of routine oil changes, 1 tire replacement, and a standard brake service. 0 major repairs, 0 unplanned dealer visits. If you want a mid-size sedan that drives with purpose, presents itself with sophistication, holds resale value well, and does not ambush you with surprise bills, the 2020 Mazda 6 is your definitive answer. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this complete breakdown of the best and worst years of the Mazda 6 genuinely helpful, drop a comment below and let us know which year you own, or which one you are seriously considering for your next purchase. There's a video sitting right on your screen now covering the most reliable car tips and tricks you need up your sleeves. So click on it right now because that video will directly save you serious money on your next car. And if you do not want to miss more guides like this every single week, hit that subscribe button before you go.